Hey everyone, welcome back to Dev Parkour. I want to talk about something that I may have talked about on the channel already, but it's something that keeps coming up. I think about it a lot. Um, and that's how software engineering is like working in a kitchen, or at least how software engineering should be like working in a kitchen. Now, hear me out. Um, if you don't cook a lot or don't cook involved meals a lot, you might not see the parallels. But I highly recommend, even if you do, go find a commercial kitchen. Find a restaurant that you like hanging out at. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, but find somewhere that you can sit and just watch the kitchen. Just watch the kitchen staff. I have one that has kind of it's a two-story setup, and the second story I can just look down on the kitchen and just watch them work. And every time I do that, it's amazing. It's so well structured, well organized, well put together. And every time I'm there at this particular place, I think, why can't software engineering be like this? And the fact of the matter is that it absolutely can be like this. We just have to think about things the way that they do in a kitchen. And I want to point out some specific aspects. The first one is that they always prep beforehand. There's always someone prepping, cooking bacon, chopping vegetables. Everything is ready to go before it needs to be used in a dish. And in order to get to that point, they actually need to have a planning step beforehand, right? So obviously you know what the menu is going to be. You know what sorts of dishes are on the menu and that people might order, so that you know what things you need to have on hand. You also know what things are going to take the longest, so you can partially cook them, right? Some places like partially cook a hamburger, right? Because depending on the hamburger, it might take a long time to cook. Bacon, if you're just assembling sandwiches, you don't want to be cooking new bacon every time someone orders a sandwich with bacon on it. So lots of places just pre-cook bacon on sheet pans, in bulk in the oven. And that's another thing. Do things in bulk when it makes sense to do things in bulk, right? Take advantage of those economies of scale. At the restaurant scale, it doesn't make sense to cook bacon in a frying pan. It just doesn't work. And if you try, I don't know if you've tried cooking like an entire pack of bacon in a frying pan at home, it doesn't work. It doesn't turn out. It takes forever. It's just an absolute mess. And literally, too, there's bacon grease everywhere. But if you lay the strips out on a sheet pan, separated by a little bit of space, stick it in the oven, you can walk away for 15 to 18 minutes, depending on your oven. And when you come back, you'll have perfectly cooked bacon every single time, right? That's because those economies of scale allow you to have the tools that you need when you're ready to use them, right? You don't have to cook new bacon just in order to put it onto a sandwich. So enough talk about bacon. It's making me hungry too. The next thing is when they're actually preparing the dishes, they have everything set out right in front of them, right? So the plate is set out ready to go, and as things are ready, they go onto the plate. The various pieces of the plate, of the arrangement, of the presentation, are set out kind of in order from stove to where they're eventually going to hand it off to the waitstaff to get served to a table, so that as the dish goes from stove all the way to, or grill, whatever, all the way to the waitstaff, it gradually becomes more complete, right? Things are set out in a logical fashion. And I think that's it. I'm sure there are more, but the best way to learn this is just go to a restaurant and observe. So what does that actually mean in terms of software engineering? Well, planning is key, right? Absolutely. Know what you're doing, know why you're doing it, and know what sorts of things you need to have on hand in order to make later things easy, right? You don't, at a restaurant, you don't know what each individual customer is going to order until they order it. And once they've ordered it, you have a limited amount of time to prepare it, right? So obviously you can't go to the store and get what they need and then come back and cook. That would take too long. You need to have it on hand. You need to have it prepped. You need to have it ready to go, so that you can assemble a dish in, depending on the establishment, anywhere between 2 minutes at a fast food restaurant, all the way up to 20 or 30 minutes at a fancy restaurant, right? So same thing goes for software. You don't know what features you're necessarily going to build 6 months down the road. You don't know what product management is going to ask for, next, or even on the more granular scale, you don't necessarily know exactly where a button's going to go, or exactly what color it's going to be, or some of those details, right? You're going to have to figure them out on the fly, but you have to have the tools available to you so that you can just put the pieces together and have it ready to go, on a relatively short time scale. And of course, there's prep work that goes into that as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Having all that planning done, and giving yourself the ability to kind of see into the future, or at least prepare for the future, even when you can't see into the future. Just having those building blocks available to you, so that when at a moment's notice, you can assemble all the Legos and make something amazing. Ship that new feature in short order, that sort of thing. So if you haven't observed how a kitchen works, I highly recommend it. It's, I don't know, cathartic in a way. I don't know if that's the right word. It's enjoyable. It's fun to watch them work, and you'll even notice that when they're not making a dish for someone, they're involved in prepping, right? So even if one person might be involved in prepping the entire time, that might be their job. Whoever's on the grill, if there's nothing on the grill, they're going to start prepping. They might start cooking some bacon. Whatever needs to be done. And the same thing applies to software engineering, right? If you don't know exactly what to do next, there's always something to do. You can always improve the code base, or you can build a tool that'll help you build the next thing faster. There's always something to be done. So hopefully there's takeaways from this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Let me know if you want to hear more kind of off the cuff thoughts about this, off the wall. I'm sure some of you are watching this video and thinking, why is he talking about bacon in restaurants? I think there's a correlation there. Maybe next time I'll talk about software engineering and rocket ships and how we lost communications with a satellite because of a computer malfunction, and how that's bad for software engineering. You don't know. Go ahead and subscribe and find out in the next video. Thanks for watching.